So today we are at Pallavi's store, Fulcrum Home Decor, and Pallavi also recently started her online store with us. So ever since then we have been wanting to hear your journey of Fulcrum and how did you get into this. So let's probably start getting. So Pallavi, for the very first thing, I would like to know. So what is Fulcrum Home Decor all about?
So Fulcrum basically is we are into interiors. We are everything that you can think of when you think of a home. So from the basic of designing, the civil work and the interior work and to decorating it. So we're like a one-stop shop for end-to-end solutions to make a space into a home.
That's I've always seen your work and it's always very enticing to see the work that you've done, and especially the store that has so many artifacts and so many beautiful things. It's always very enticing to see it. So how did you start into this? How did you start your journey about home decor and all the store having a business?
So I've been educated as an interior designer. So I was working. I was in Calcutta, where my hometown, so to speak. But my parents still live there, and so that's where I got my education. I started my interior designing there, and then I got a job with the firm where I learned interior designing. They would do commercial spaces. So that was in Bombay. I was working in Bombay, and because of work I was traveling to entire Maharashtra, and Pune being one of the places where interiors was, because there was so much construction happening, so I would travel for work and things, and I kind of started looking at it, and interiors of banks and financial institutions actually got pretty boring at one point. So I thought that why not venture out into residentials, and that's how I kind of shifted to Pune, started my work, and I started my office. And then when you start doing that, then obviously the interiors is pretty much, so one is the bone structure where you have the walls and all of that. That's the civil part which you get from the builder.
Right.
Then we come in with the flesh. I call interiors the flesh of the building.
Right.
And then you come in with the accessories. If you don't wear garments and if you don't wear jewelry, what is the beauty of things? So that's the part which I was finding missing in Pune at that point of time. So I started doing products like curtains and furnishings and decor and all of that. That's my journey of getting into the decor part of it also.
So when you started this journey, it was, you said you started with curtains and other decor items.
Yes.
So how did you started right away with an office, or how did it?
No, it was actually, I was working from home. I started sourcing a few things for the sites because I needed them to look complete. Like without curtains on the windows, it's like we're not even naked. It really doesn't look good. So but I wasn't able, it was all so typical at that point of time, and I'm talking about 2005-06.
Oh, that's way back.
Yeah, way back. So I started sourcing fabrics. I used to get them made as per whatever the interiors would look like, and people started appreciating it a lot. And then it took a couple of years for me to realize that this is something that people also want, like people who have their homes already designed with furniture, but they still are looking for something. So that's how I took that little leap of faith, and I started stocking at one of my rooms. I used to have a 3 BHK, that one room was dedicated just for this. So that's how the little journey started, and when I felt a little confident that now I know that people will be more receiving, then I started a store. That was 2009, and the store would house furnishings, but these are all designed furnishings and things which you don't get.
Yeah. That is one thing I always appreciate about the store, that this is not something that we get in every place. So was that probably the biggest win of your journey, or one of the starting biggest win of your journey, that having a store of your own where people can just walk in? And
yes, so it was definitely a milestone. It was definitely an achievement at that point where I felt that it's a need, and I was able to take that step. That was definitely great. So we started housing a lot of these things.
And then, okay, so this was the win, but I'm sure there must be certain struggles behind this, or some downtimes behind this. So anything that you can.
So I think, when I had that store, I'm talking 2009 onwards. So initially, the pump of having a store, it opens, people come, they want to visit. but sustaining a store is also a very big thing. So,
Right.
So there are ups and downs in that industry,
Right.
and just like any other business, because it wasn't like a common thing. You will not need curtains more than 2 or 3 times a day.
Exactly.
So there is going to be a time where you have to actually expand, reaching out to more people and being a one-man army as usual. So there was always a limitation of how much could I reach, and that is something that was a very big struggle. And
so from solopreneur, I can see you have a team now of quite good. Young.
Absolutely. Young energy is always good because that makes you feel young. I would say that. So with my team also, when I talk to them and what they are doing in life, what they like, the kind of music they listen to, it makes you feel so young. It makes you feel very. I like to be around young people in general. I don't like to be around old people. so that's a very nice, and they bring in a lot of, because see, sometimes we can get very stuck in our own ways. So I think it's the young energy or anything which is new will always make you challenge your creative process as well.
Yeah.
So that is something I think I learn from my team on a daily basis.
So, how did you? Once the store was started, and did pandemic hit you in any way?
So after, of course, the store that I had, it was small, and even after the struggles, I felt that I needed to expand. So there were struggles, like my health was not okay, and I needed to move out of the small space. So then I kind of came to the space where I am. This is a much bigger space, and I also wanted the space to be more like an experience center for people, so they can see how to use the products and how to use. So our line also grew. So we're not only into furnishings now. It is everything to do with home decor, so from lamps to planters to wall art, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted people to have a space where they can come and actually see how that entire product is going to look. Because mostly what happens is it's folded, you don't know how it's going to look. So that was an experience which I wanted, so we opened this up. Then I got married and I had a kid and all of that, and then very soon the pandemic hit. So last 2 years it has been quite a change for the entire world, and we are no different from that. So definitely the whole scene of business kind of shifted and changed, and that happened to us like everybody else. And so it was actually last year when I had been thinking, because we had an Instagram presence, we had a social media presence, but it was very minor, of course, because not a very tech savvy person. So that is something. But people would always inquire over.
Yes.
And people who now, as I said, like when you're around young people, if you ask them ki ye kahan milega, they'll just quickly get onto some way on the net here or there, and they'll find you some information. So that is something that I thought that's everybody's going to look at this right now.
Right.
So I launched my online store about 2 years back, and that's how I kind of, again, another step further is what I took it.
So the online store helped you, I would say, increase your reach.
Absolutely. I mean, see, you can't. Physical stores, one is that we live in cities where the distance is too much. Okay. Traveling to a place, I mean, the experience you get here is very different. That's understandable. You can touch and feel the product, but coming and doing that is something that takes a back seat when it is the time, the traffic, and everything is involved, right? So, plus what happens is many people who come here once, they know what it is, they've been here, so then they don't need to come back to buy one thing or two things.
Once they've experienced
it. So that is one thing that is very good. And secondly, I was not able to reach out to more than a certain amount of people, because how many people do I know or how many people have come here? So definitely, and the online store opened up the whole face to many more people all over India who could now pick up if they like something. And since we have a YouTube channel and we showcase the flats, the designs that we do, people want to buy them.
Right.
And then when they will message us and then we'll send them the pictures, it becomes such a lengthy process. So the online store kind of cuts that down and it makes it much
it just
faster.
reduces the sales cycle of back and forth communication on WhatsApp and or Instagram.
And it also kind of, there's too much of lag in that. They'll ask me, I may not get back to them on time, and then that interest kind of dies out. So this is where it's there. They have to go there, they see the size, they see the price, they see everything. Like I don't have to communicate everything to the person. It's just there and they can pick it up.
So, okay, you said you had a store 2 years back.
Yes.
And then how did you discover about Storeplum?
So 2 years back I was working with GoDaddy, and because someone had recommended that it's a very easy way in which you can make your website. So the website was made and then I started off the online with GoDaddy. It was working fine till a point that I was having a lot of problems with the orders not showing up. And the whole issue of why I had wanted to go ahead with the online is where I am not personally sitting and answering WhatsApp. That is what it had become. Like I had literally got to answer people that why are their orders not reaching there. And there were issues with the backend, like their technical team is so difficult because it's all on a call, right? You are talking to a person to a call center and then the call drops and then you never get that person back, so you're repeating yourself. So it was becoming a very difficult thing for me that on a regular basis, one-off incident, everywhere can happen, it's a technical thing. But the issue that I had is that it was becoming like I was missing out 5-10 orders in a month. And so for every order that was missed, unless the customer told me or I went into the payment gateway, I wouldn't know there was an order which is missed. And because it was not reflected, the inventory on my site was not getting managed. So there were people placing the same product order when it was actually out of stock. So those kind of issues were becoming a lot of problem for me, and I said, listen, this is getting more headache than the whole purpose of it. So I'll shut that down. That's the time when I was looking, and you've been my client for a long time. Your brother has been my client. So I knew that you guys had started, and see, for me it was very important that one, I knew you guys very well. So, and I think the first thing I asked you was that I don't want to go ahead with a very big corporation who's there's no one who's accountable for this.
You need a face.
Yeah, I needed a face. I needed someone who I could talk to, tell them that this is my problem, and they could customize the solution for me. Even when I was talking to you about the, like there were parts in the setup of the storefront where I said that I would want this to be integrated, and within a month's time that was integrated, and that just kind of helps you because for a small business, I think it's very important that you have a team that is ready to help you grow
and not miss on time.
Yeah. So see, for big organizations, it doesn't matter to them we filter out or not. We are too small in there. So I think that one thing that I felt with Storeplum was that every small business is respected. So it's more like a platform for small businesses, and that is what kind of made me feel that I'm very comfortable going there.
Thanks for your memories.
that was genuinely what I felt when I think even your when you put up these statuses of WhatsApp and all that, what I read always is that how a small business can feel that they have a space. Yeah, that's something that I really like.
So, continuing with the online store, how is it that you've been doing the marketing, or have you been putting any efforts in your online store? Because that is what people usually are apprehensive about. That okay, I'm done with the online store. Now what next?
So you definitely have to promote. It's not that you can just be there and customers. There are I think there must be millions like me. If not millions, maybe hundreds like me. So, see, that marketing has to be done no matter a physical store or online store or whatever. But with the online store, the amount that I have to do is pretty less because I just have to go into Instagram.
Right.
Like in today's world, I think it's just the social media channels. If you use them right, your game is pretty solid.
Yeah, and like you said that young people usually hunt for all these options on Instagram, so it becomes much easier.
I am at night on Instagram and the ads that show up, I definitely click on them. So I mean, if I am doing it, I can 100% expect people like me who are interested in this field will do it, So I think it's, you just
and I think more or less you also know who are your customer, your persona of this, so you know how to promote your thing.
Talk about it. If it's enticing me, I'm sure it's going to entice
exactly.
people who are like-minded. So.
Yes. Yeah, wonderful. So I think yes, this was a really wonderful talking to you, Pallavi, and it has been a pleasure to you being part of Storeplum.
Oh, it's been a pleasure for me to join your team.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you for the support that you guys have always extended to us from your Storeplum. Thank you so much.
Thank you.